Professor Wergles here. We are on lecture number 30. We're looking at jQuery plugins. Make sure you update your code from the last example. We're on number 4, plugins combined, and we're going to see how we can add multiple plugins to the jQuery library. So we're on number 4. Do a right-click, view and edit, and this is what you're going to see. So I am making 2 plugins now. I can do that within the same jQuery plugin function. You'll see I'm accessing jQuery. I'm using a prototype to make a function called colorize, which is going to change the background color to whatever color is passed in as a parameter. I'm also creating the Beberize function. I'm accessing jQuery's prototype to create a function called Beberize. Beberize will start at 0. It's going to match all the elements, and it's going to append Justin Bieber to that element. If there's more than one element, it's going to wait 50 milliseconds to append it to the next element. So you'll see here on the for each, instead of using the this keyword, I can pass in the index of the for loop as well as the context of that element. The element is passed in from the each method, and that's what I like about using plugins that have already been pre-made. So you can think of any function from jQuery as a plugin. So they have the each plugin, which is a for loop that goes through all the matched elements. As a parameter, you can have the index of the for loop as well as the context of the for loop. Now, if I were to make my own for loop, I'd have to use the keyword this and preserve it and then create a variable called that, which we saw in the last example. So I'm using the each plugin, but I'm not taking advantage of the parameters that are passed with that. So I'm using this, store it to that, and then I'm using that to append the image to it. Instead, I can take advantage of the pre-built plugin, go to the documentation, look at the parameters, and find out that they already passed the context for me, so I don't need to handle that myself. If I handle that myself, more than likely you're going to experience bugs. So try to use as many predefined functions as possible. Go online, look for plugins. If you use plugins, that's fine. Reference them. If it's part of the jQuery library, you don't need to reference them. If you find some third-party plugin that some developer created and you want to use it, that's great. Take advantage of online resources, but make sure you reference them. So essentially, this is still the same Beberize function. So you'll see here I'm looking for an ID of Beberize and Colorize. So I have a Beberize Colorize button. I'm going to call the Beberizer and Colorizer function. So once they click the Beberizer and Colorizer, any class that's equal to special, I'm going to colorize it with this RGB value, and I'm going to Beberize it as well. So make sure you save the code. This is all going to happen once the DOM is finished loading. I'm going to go back on the browser, select number 4. If I do Beberize and Colorize, you'll see I'm going to Beberize and colorize the page. Okay, I can keep clicking. You'll see the RGB value stays the same, which is more of a red color, but I can continue adding Biebers to the page. If you keep going, you're going to start to see a nightmare. And if you refresh the page, the nightmare will disappear. Now, what I want to do is take these plugins and apply them to a page like W3 Schools. So I'm going to hack W3 Schools. Now, I want you to watch this and have some fun so you can see how fun web development is. Now, this part of the lecture is kind of my build-up for my next web development class, which is 4830. It's Advanced Web Application Development, or Web Application Development 2. It's a 4,000 level class and a 7,000 level class. It's advanced web topics. We get into production servers. We talk about frameworks like Angular and Bootstrap. We get into Materialize. We talk about Firebase. We look at hybrid applications. It's one of the best classes that you can take, and it's one of the most practical classes that you can take. I have so many students come up to me after that class, and they say, Professor Wergles, we got a job doing the concepts that you taught us in that class. We're programming Angular. We are using Bootstrap. Unless you get a research position in Google or one of the big companies like Microsoft, Facebook, more than likely you're going to be doing web development or mobile application development. And even if you get into big companies like Facebook, Google, Amazon, they are all web companies. So web development is very popular, and most likely you're going to be doing that in the industry. So stick with Professor Wergeles. We're going to hack W3 Schools, and that's going to introduce my next course, which is 4830. Check it out, and we'll see you in the next video.